focus on it and nothing else. It's something that I'm just conceiving about a practice, a mental meditative practice, to only just focus on it, and it can be absolutely anything. It's a little challenge. Whatever it is, focus on it and nothing else. And that is an incredibly difficult challenge. I've not gone into meditating, so I don't know if this is a commonly covered technique that's well practiced. But this is the first time I'm stumbling upon it. And already the simplicity of this concept of focusing on only one thing and only that one thing. It's quite profound, I imagine. And I'm immediately showing that I failed by thinking, oh, eureka, I have this amazing idea, it feels so important, that I rush to my phone and I start recording this concept because it's an idea. It's a notion that has somehow arrived to me, and recently I just need to get them down, recorded, because these ideas are fleeting. And I really like thinking and believing that inspiration can come when it's not opportune for us. As Elizabeth Gilbert has pointed out in her TED Talks about the origins of genius, or rather genie. The idea that artists and their brilliance, their genius, their creative genius has originated from a maybe much more healthy way to look at it, where they believed back in time that the word genius was derived from genie, and genie was the name of a third-party entity. Imagine if it was depicted as a little mystical, spiritual gnome with magical powers, and it resided in your house somewhere, and it only came out and showed itself whenever it wanted to, because it had a life of its own. It's this mysterious little creature. You know, it could be depicted like that. And that's creativity, that's inspiration, that's ideas, that's genie. And yeah, when you are visited by genie, or genie reveals themselves to you, they can inspire you with ideas and imagination and creativity. And over time, with the development of the ego, the identity of self, and the inability to separate one's own experience from this ego that we've manifested, that serves us so well in society in order to get ahead, it really helps to have a strong sense of self and be driven and manifest what you want in this world. It's really powerful. It's just what we've done is ego's taken a hold, because ego loves compliments. And so it's like, yep, I did that. not this genie. I take responsibility for that inspiration, for that piece of work, for that idea. And so when we do that, we're not able to just let a simple idea, concept, we can't let it just flow in and out freely. We have to try and capture it. We have to try and control it and manipulate it. And we have to try and understand it. We have to dissect it. It's a compulsion because it's power. Knowledge is power. And ego is constantly wanting to deconstruct and dissect and understand everything. And so the mind is just a hijacked tool that is putting tendrils out there, trying to understand everything about the world. And our thoughts just are all over the place. And it's a very, very powerful ability to be able to just focus that beam of light that's spreading out everywhere. Millions of beams of attention that's just sparking around. You keep thinking about, oh, I need to do this line of action, and then another thought takes your attention and you get distracted and you start thinking about something else. And it's very helpful to be able to not allow yourself to think of anything else but that one thing. And you just narrow that beam of focus on that one thing, and you don't let other thoughts come in and take control. So I guess that level of focus could be something of sheer brute will, the sheer willpower to constantly correct your own attention and will yourself to only focus on one thing. As I said, I'm very new to this. I don't know if this is a practice in meditation, but that to me sounds incredibly hard. But at the same time, I can imagine that if you are able to do that, even just on this activity, to repeat, you have to just think of this concept. Think of the concept itself, and don't deviate. Don't let your mind ask questions, because language isn't allowed. Language is a thing. It's a thing that's a tool, it's a system that the mind needs to better understand things. So if you were to not feed that, willfully not feed the mind from wanting to uncontrollably try to understand everything at once, it can't. It's not equipped to. Can you think of just one thing and not let your thoughts run a course, run a story? You start off thinking one thing and then immediately your mind wanders and goes off and tells a story, and that's multiple other things straight away. You've already deviated from the intention, the singular important intention to focus on just one thing. And when I said you can't use language is not allowed. So if you find that your thoughts, I mean, obviously this video is all about me talking and you're listening to language. So this is already contradicting the intention of focusing on just one thing. But when you are at peace, listening to some background music or in the silence, and you are just focusing on one thought, one thing, and whatever it is, you are not allowed to think about anything else, including language, including words. You can't think of a single word. You can't even think of the name of the thing that you've tasked yourself to concentrate on. Not even the name of the thing. So you can't even identify it, because that is a step of the mind. You have to think about the one thing and no thing else. Is that achievable for a sustained period of time? What is that referred to in old cultures, old spiritual practices across the world, across history, across belief systems? I don't know if this exists. It must do. This can't be novel. Does this practice have a name? And if so, I'd love to research it. I'm most likely going to research it in the morning. To wrap it up, this idea came from wanting to consciously will myself to think about sleeping. Think sleep. 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 And then I caught myself and realized, I'm thinking of the word sleep. I am saying sleep. I can hear myself thinking sleep in the language, in the sound, in the word, and that doesn't count. So I have to just think of the concept that is called sleep. Okay. Do it now. Already failed. You know, it's so quick to fail. And I'm just wondering if this practice is a rocket ship to madness, or if it's something that maybe is like a seriously powerful yet excruciatingly difficult task. Who knows? I just needed to get it down, so it was worth failing if I'm able to ponder on this and if it's helpful for anyone else. Good night.